every other young girl growing up in the 70s and 80s, Sandra had interests and hopes and dreams for her future. Sandra and her two sons, Harley and Devon, her daughters, Sky and Desiree, her sister, Shen, her former husband, Mark, and her mother, Barb, her father, Stuart, and her Aunt Peggy should have all been celebrating Sandra's 42nd birthday this past December. Instead, Sandra's grieving family clings to the hope that information regarding Sandra will be brought forward so that they can finally put to rest the many questions that have haunted them over the past year. The most important question that they have is, where is Sandra Wilson? Sandra's youthful dreams and aspirations for a brighter future took a sidestep when she started using illicit street drugs and identifying with peers who were part of that street subculture. Like so many other strong young women, Sandra found that the addictive power of the illicit drugs was greater than her personal strength and her emotional resolve to get clean and to stay clean. Sandra became addicted to the drugs and eventually followed a common path that was taken by many young, vulnerable women who are living in the street life. This path brought her into the high-risk lifestyle as a sex trade worker. Sandra was last seen at her residence, leaving the residence at 5th Avenue and St. Paul Street between 12:40 a.m. and 1 a.m. on April the 6th of 2012. That was Good Friday morning. Surveillance video images show Sandra in the foyer of her residence wearing knee-high black boots, light-colored pants, a black jacket, and she had a black bag slung over her right shoulder. Other surveillance video obtained from the 7-Eleven store at 6th and Seymour shows Sandra walking in front of that business about an hour earlier. Those were the last images that we have of Sandra. She's never been heard from or seen from since. There's been no activity on her bank accounts. Sandra departed the house without taking her medication that she requires daily, and there's been no attempt to access the medication through any registered pharmacy. The search for Sandra has been ongoing since the first day she was reported missing on April 13th of 2012. The Kamloops RCMP have conducted an extensive canvass of the downtown core and have spoken to more than 140 people to obtain any information they can about where Sandra is. They've tracked down other associated individuals with whom Sandra may have been in contact. An aerial search was conducted of the South Thompson River out to the confluence at Kamloops Lake and in and around the area of Cooney Bay. Investigators have conducted checks with local area hospitals, corrections facilities, Ministry of Family and Social Services, social assistance program managers, rehabilitation facilities, local shelters, pharmacies, her family doctor, and her family dentist. In essence, the investigation has gone from forensics to psychics, from confidential informants to business owners, from street-level witnesses to video surveillance. The RCMP investigators have used all possible avenues to obtain information about Sandra Wilson, and every tip they have received has been followed up to its fullest extent. Tips from as far away as Ontario have been pursued, but no information to date has given the investigators that critical piece of information that they require to solve the puzzle about what happened to Sandra and what happened regarding her sudden disappearance. Police are once again appealing to anyone who may have seen Sandra Wilson after 1 a.m. on Good Friday morning of 2012. We ask that anyone who has any information to contact the Kamloops RCMP or their local Crime Stoppers. Even the smallest fragment of information, something that may seem insignificant to somebody, if you have anything, the investigators are appealing for you to contact them with that information so that they can assess its value.